Modern spirituality is a sophisticated tranquilizer, a self-serving industry designed to make you feel good while actively preventing any real, terrifying encounter with the impersonal and dangerous reality of the sacred. It's a beautifully decorated cage, padded with positive affirmations and the promise of personal growth. It offers you everything you want: peace, purpose, community, a sense of control. Everything except the one thing you desperately need: the truth. The truth is that the sacred is not safe. It is not polite. It is not here to serve you, to heal your childhood traumas, or to help you manifest a better lifestyle. It is a wild, untamable, and often terrifying force that demands everything and offers no comfort in return. And for the last 2,500 years, our entire civilization has been built on an elaborate lie, a grand conspiracy of forgetting, designed to protect us from this very truth. Let's call this lie what it is: the domestication of the divine. Our modern spiritual marketplace, from the yoga studio on the corner to the meditation app on your phone, has taken the most powerful and dangerous force in the universe and turned it into a consumer product. It's been prettified, sanitized, and made politically correct. It's been branded and packaged into something guaranteed to be calm, sweet, and reassuring. It promises you peace, but it is the peace of a padded cell. It promises you freedom, but it is the freedom to choose your own tranquilizer. This corruption of the sacred began with a simple, almost unnoticeable, but devastating shift in purpose. The ancient word for the spiritual path, therapia, didn't mean therapy for you. It meant caring for the gods. It was a sacred obligation, a duty to attend to the divine, to serve something infinitely greater than your personal self, your happiness, or your story. The human was not the center of the equation. We inverted it. We made it all about me. Healing my past, finding my truth, becoming my best self. We have turned the gods into cosmic therapists on call to fix our personal problems. We look to the divine to serve us, forgetting the first and most essential rule of any real tradition: you must first learn how to care for the gods if the gods are ever to care for you. When we take everything for ourselves, we end up with absolutely nothing. This modern approach isn't a path to awakening. It's a highly efficient system for reinforcing the ego. It tells you that your personal story is of supreme importance, that your feelings are sacred, that your individual truth is the ultimate truth. But the real sacred path begins with the terrifying recognition that your personal self is the very thing you must overcome. The authentic journey is not about finding yourself, but about losing yourself in something vast, impersonal, and utterly indifferent to your desires. We have forgotten that truth, real truth, was once understood as something extremely painful, even impossible, for most people to bear. It wasn't a set of comforting beliefs, but a direct confrontation with a reality that carries with it overwhelming responsibilities. But today's spirituality is an industry of comfort. It sells you techniques to manage your anxiety, crystals to balance your energy, and retreats to escape your life. It gives you a sense of control, a feeling of progress. But it's an illusion. Every meditation app, every wellness influencer, every workshop promising to unlock your potential is just another layer of padding on the walls of the cage. It is the perfect, comfortable cage, and we have decorated it so beautifully, we no longer even see the bars. This cage wasn't built overnight. Its foundations were laid thousands of years ago, with an act of intellectual murder. Before our modern spirituality, before Christianity, before even the Roman Empire, there was a different way of knowing in the West. Figures like Parmenides and Empedocles were not gentle philosophers, scribbling theories in an ivory tower. They were prophets, magicians, masters of a terrifying divine logic. Their wisdom wasn't thought up in a library. It was received directly from the gods during descents into the underworld. Ecstatic, dangerous journeys that courted madness and death. This was a wisdom born of direct, unmediated experience. It was alive, paradoxical, and fiercely impersonal. It was the logic of the gods, not of men. It was the language of the cosmos itself. And then came the murderers, Plato and Aristotle. They took this wild, living wisdom and they killed it. They took the uncanny stillness of divine logic and replaced it with the endless superficiality of its restlessness and questioning. They took the raw, terrifying journey to the underworld and turned it into a neat, abstract theory of forms. They silenced the howl of the prophet and gave us the tidy lecture of the professor. The birth of Western reason was not a triumph of progress. It was an assassination. Our entire culture is built on its corpse. What we call our civilization is a palimpsest, a text written over a sacred original that has been violently erased, but whose ghostly traces can still be felt, and we call this progress. We tell ourselves a story that we have evolved, that we are more conscious than our primitive ancestors. But this is the second part of the lie. We haven't evolved. We've just become experts at forgetting. We have mistaken the accumulation of information for the deepening of wisdom. The so-called Enlightenment was simply the final, triumphant act of turning our backs on the sacred darkness from which all true light comes. This cult of progress is the engine that keeps us running deeper into our cage, decorating it with new technologies and new therapies, convinced we are getting freer with every step. We believe that history is a line moving forward and upward. But what if it's a circle? What if we are just moving further and further away from our sacred source? Every step forward we think we take is just another step into a deeper state of sleep, another step away from home. So if our spirituality is a comfortable lie, what is the uncomfortable truth? The answer can be found in the figure we thought we knew, Carl Jung. The modern world has domesticated him too, turning him into a gentle, wise grandfather of psychology. This is a fiction designed to make him palatable, to make him safe. The real Jung was a man who lived this terrifying path. He was a magician who descended into his own underworld, who wrestled with insanity, who knew that the true spiritual journey is not a gentle ascent into the light, but a brutal confrontation with the darkness within and without. He knew that what we call sanity is often just a collective agreement to ignore reality. His greatest work, the Red Book, was not a theoretical text, but a raw, unfiltered record of this descent. It was a journey that almost cost him his life. The authentic path, the path that leads out of the cage, is not a system or a belief. It is a different kind of engagement with life, defined by three terrifying truths. First, it demands conscious suffering. It is the recognition that some pain is not personal. It is not yours to heal, but it is yours to carry. It is the weight of a sick world, the collective unconsciousness of humanity. Modern spirituality tells you to release your burdens. The true path asks you to pick them up, to feel their crushing weight, and to stand still. It is a form of crucifixion, the only act capable of balancing the relentless, cheerful ignorance of the world. Second, it speaks in the howl. The authentic voice of the sacred is not a gentle mantra whispered in a quiet room. It is a primordial howl of grief and outrage at what has been lost, the wildness of nature, the sacredness of the world, the murder of our own soul. It is the sound of nature's outrage against the artificialities trying to crush it. It is the crush it. It is the cry that wakes the dead and shatters all our comfortable illusions. And finally, it demands that we face the end. We are not at the dawn of a new age of Aquarius, a great awakening. We are at the end of a civilization. The momentum has stopped. The energy is spent. This is not a cause for hope or despair. It is a simple, observable fact. The spiritual task now is not to build something new, but to serve as a catafalque, an old word for the decorated stand that holds the coffin of the dead. The task is to honor the end, to grieve, to witness the passing of our culture with nobility and dignity, to stop pretending that this corpse can be revived, and instead to perform the sacred rites for the dead. Because only by honoring the end can we sow the seeds of a future we will never see. Your spirituality promises you a way out. The truth offers you a way through. It offers the terrifying, liberating realization that you are not here to be saved. You are here to witness the end of a world, and perhaps, if you are brave enough, to help it die with dignity. The real question is not how to feel better. The real question is, are you brave enough to feel it all? Your spirituality is a comfortable cage.